that make the show what it is. So you guys are part of this as well. So yes, indeed. How did the markets do on Friday? I think it was 0.1% is where the market closed in the negative zone. 12.9 trillion. Market cap has been dipping. 12.9 trillion naira. 29,270 points is where we closed. As far as our top gainer, I think it was Consolidated Hallmark Insurance as our top gainer on Friday. Our top loser was Learn Africa Education Company, Learn Africa PLC. So, Kayode, there's been a rumor going around, though, that where is this thing on WhatsApp now? WhatsApp is the purveyor of rumors when it comes to business and everything else. A number of people, a couple of people reached out to me that Access Bank is reportedly in talks to acquire Union Bank. I don't know anybody else heard this. I think at first it was
they've taken over everything.
yeah. At first it was, I think it was Unity, then it was Union. I don't know if anybody else has heard this. Well, one particular website has this story, but ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how possible this is. Though I mean, Access just took on. I mean, they carried on their head a 200, what was it now, $200 million bond on behalf of Diamond. You know, that transaction, you know, was just completed. You still have to merge your software. You still have to figure out the branches, especially where there's an Access and a Diamond on the same street. You still got to figure out what to do with staff. They haven't laid anybody else off, but you know, I don't know how. So many
people.
Yeah, there's just this. You know, they said no layoffs are going to happen, but then hey, there's a lot of overlap taking place. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is fake news. Although we'll see. Unless, I mean, unless Union Bank is going for like what now? Really cheap. But I haven't seen this. It can't happen.
Bank, I mean, you've been listening to the ads lately.
Can't happen. It's Union. I had Union. I had Unity. I had. I mean, come on. It's fake news. So for those two folks that have reached out to me, I can't verify this information. Although this one particular site that's running this, I don't know where they're getting the information from. Because it's just. I mean, I can't remember the last time in the history of the banking industry where one particular bank took over two in a space of how many months? Yeah, come on. No.
By the way, ladies, you can join us to get a glimpse of what's happening in the studio. We're at Smooth 91 FM on on YouTube. It's youtube.com/smooth 91.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so a layover from Tech Friday talked about a platform called Heliport. I attended, actually, I had a press launch on Saturday, and I attended that. It's very interesting. The GMD of Boa Cement, Haji Kabir Rabio, he is actually the brains behind Heliport. Yeah. So it's he has all Nigerian developers that are putting this thing together. What he wants to do
into the tech space,
right? You know, so he's interesting. I have to try and think of the last time you had an executive from a legacy industry, as industrial goods or manufacturing or wherever, deciding to pivot into tech. But trying to create an ecosystem where folks can, like you and I are talking now, we can chat and send money to each other on the same platform. It's going up against WhatsApp and a number of other platforms. That's going to be challenging. But I thought it was pretty interesting. I had a demonstration during their press release, showed us how it works. It was pretty interesting. So we'll see how that goes. He's also looking at trying to get folks that are unbanked to get on there, because I think he uses a wallet. Don't forget, as far as the unbanked are concerned, I think we talked about this either last week or 2 weeks ago. The Central Bank of Nigeria, they kind of moved their target. So, you know, they were aiming for 80% financial inclusion by next year, 2020. You know, the whole Vision 2020 thing, yeah?
It's just 6 months away.
Right. So, of course, they haven't met it. I think we're at 50 something or 60% or so. Are we? It's between 48 and 60 or so, financial inclusion. And the central bank came out and said, hey, you know what? We're not going to meet this target. But what we're going to do is we're going to push it to 2024, and we're going to increase it to 95% financial inclusion. So you didn't meet the 80.
They can't meet 2024.
You didn't meet the 80%, and now you want to go ahead and move it to 94. So anyway, interesting. Anyway, if you're on Twitter, I think do search for Helaports and see what you think about the platform. It's very interesting to see if you can house chatting and sending of transactions, financial transactions on the same platform. Another event I was supposed to attend on Friday was the listing of Airtel on the stock exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I saw you all suited up and all of that.
Exactly. I was like, thank you. When I came into the studio, I was all ready to go to the Nigerian Stock Exchange to go and witness the Airtel listing. Shout out to Nairametrics. Actually, they're the ones that got the invite, and they're like, Rotus, come check this out. So it didn't happen. It did not happen.
What happened?
Well, according to Business Day, they're saying that the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is yet to approve the listing. Now, you'd think that this kind of stuff would have been done ahead of time.
Exactly, before the announcements were made.
Exactly, but and apparently they had actually gotten a waiver as far as cross-border listings, which is where you list in one country and then list in another one. They got it. It was said that they had gotten a waiver from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a waiver on cross-border listings because it had already done its primary listing on the London Stock Exchange. But the news is that they didn't get all the approvals. Now, get this. Here's this quote. Where is this quote from? Some source that Business Day was talking to. It says that recall that at the SEC Nigeria, majority of its documentations are done manually and most times require the physical appearance of the related parties, thereby affecting the turnaround time for documentation during such an important exercise. So that's why. And remember, somebody sent a long quote on this show. Why
does it have to be manually, though?
Exactly. That's another thing. You have to be able to list all these things quickly and do it electronically. Can't be doing it. And then I have to now show up in the office physically. Yeah, I mean, of course, now other stock exchanges around the world, some of them do this. It's not Nigeria is not the only one. But, I mean, we could be faster. We're trying to make sure things happen quickly as far as electronic. So anyway, I think the listing it says here that, well, not really in this article, but it's rumored that it's supposed to be either moved to today or tomorrow. So we'll see. Airtel, of course, I think is being priced at 363 naira per share, but it's still going to be, there's going to be some price discovery. It would make it, I believe, I've been talking about the market cap every single day on the show. We're at 12.9 trillion, but apparently the listing will add about 1.3 trillion naira to the stock exchange market cap, making Airtel the third most capitalized company on the Nigerian Stock Exchange after Dangote Cement at number one, who is about 3.3 trillion, and then MTN at 2.6. So we will see how that goes, but it's just one of those things. I have a message. What are we seeing here?
This one from Taylor David says, I don't think it's true. I don't think that is true. Union Bank is a big bank. When Axis merged with Diamond, they were still having issues with transferring to other banks for some time. This is really fake news. Morning to you, Rotus. And
he's calling you Baker.
And Baker.
Yeah, it's Baker 19. Thank you for that. Thank you for that message.
Access at this point can acquire any acquirable. This must be the second attempt. If so, the duo that made Access what it is today have a real ginger and drive to be the bankers of all bankers. Okay, they made a first attempt about 11 years ago. The Flying House Bank is still reeling in some issues that bogged down.
It down pre-CBN takeover. Okay. All right. Okay. And please attach your name so one person doesn't believe it, another person thinks it's possible. Aha, yes. Trust Benga to give us some news. And in fact, Janet, who is with us, Janet from ARM. Janet, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You actually. Good morning, Janet.
Yes, let's try that again.
Yeah, good morning.
There she is. Janet, you sent me this story, and Benga Akamo, I trust him. We should have Benga as a correspondent in here. But let's read his message, Kayode.
It says, so Buhari has signed the African Continental Single Market Area Agreement in Niger. What are the implications of Nigeria?
All right, so Janet, let's start with that. Ben, guys, what's the implications for Nigeria as far as the African Continental Free Trade Agreement being signed? Do we see anything good for us?
Well, definitely. I mean, it opens the market up for for more competition as it is. There are good sides to it, and then there's also the pros and the cons for this really. The cons really that people are really concerned about is the fact that it more or less increases the competition. You increase importation. We are, like as we're mostly import driven.
Yeah.
And then I mean the fact that it opens the borders up. Anybody can really come in to be employed.
Right.
So it makes the whole competition, the employment game really more competitive for us here in Nigeria. So but then you also have to think about it the other way around. And when you even take a look at the trade data by the NBS and you look at the list of countries, the major export and import trading partners. When it comes to import, you would rarely see for the top 10, you'd rarely see any African country on that list. But for the top 10 in our exports, we actually export a lot to the likes of Angola, to Ghana, So I believe this is also just, it opens up, it just more or less makes it gives wings to our small businesses.
Okay.
Really. So I mean the likes of the cement businesses, for instance, we know that they are mostly, I mean the next phase for them really now is to kind of push their exports going outside. So
right.
I believe it's it has the pros and the cons, but it's both. I believe it's a good development for us, really.
And of course, the I have to throw this in there. The African aspect of this. You know, we sign a lot of agreements, Janet. You think we'll follow through on this? Yeah,
Well,
it's possible. That's another one to be seen.
yeah,
Huh?
and I think another key part to it is, I mean, just to protect ourselves. You've seen a lot of trade agreements, being, I mean, we have the likes of Trump going back and forth,
Mm.
so I believe just to protect ourselves, there might probably, it's perhaps best that, we have some protectionism things going on just
protect us,
exactly protect us.
Well, that actually goes to Ugboma Chidozie's question, Kayode.
He says here, why is Buhari joining the open markets in Africa? Why did he ban the importation of rice in the first place?
Well, Ugboma was trying to protect domestic, producers. The folks, if Kayode is growing rice and we're importing rice from Thailand and elsewhere, right? Yep.
Yes,
He has to protect
exactly.
Kayode so that Kayode can grow rice and feed us. But then the question is, Kayode, is your rice enough to feed all 200 million?
Do I want to grow rice? Chris says, who believed Access Bank could acquire Intercontinental at the time? They did. There's no smoke without fire.
Okay, good point, Chris. But Chris, they just acquired Diamond. Do you know how much money they spent getting? Janet, where do you stand on this rumor?
Well, I mean, it's like you said, they're just still in the process of going to integrate Diamond into the whole system.
Right.
And then I believe, they'll most likely want to concentrate on that. But then when you just think about the fact that in November, I mean, that was really wild when they actually outrightly denied
that it was true, right?
So and then come January, we actually saw the merger with Diamond Bank. But then just logically speaking, at least at the phase of things, they will most likely just want to concentrate on their integration with Diamond.
All right. Let's see now. Okay, hello, Kewe. Is it advisable to buy Bitcoin? Where can I buy? Kewe. Bitcoin. Look, Bitcoin went from $3,000 in January. It rose. It's about 12,000 now. But prior to that, it was at 20,000. Then dropped to 2,000. It is extremely volatile. But if you want to buy it, there are a number of exchanges that are actually in Nigeria. I can't give out any names because they have to pay us for promotion. But if you just Google buying Bitcoin in Nigeria, you just get a wallet. Give them money. They'll open a wallet for you. You can now pay into the wallet and now buy and sell your Bitcoin. But please, though, be very careful with that thing, or it's extremely volatile. From 12,000, I could drop to another amount. So it's really, really volatile. Oh, okay. So we have another infrastructure issue here. Yeah, this is for Chinedu. What area is he talking about? Obakran. Yeah.
And
Chinedu, yes. Okay, so Chinedu wants us to mention the fact that there's some really, really terrible roads out there. Chinedu, trust me, we discuss this almost every other day. We need to do something about infrastructure in as far as the roads are concerned.
So when's the listing? I think someone wants to know about the.
Janet, when is the listing? Today, tomorrow?
Yeah. So NSE has announced they will be listing today.
Okay.
But I believe what was mentioned was they have to meet the requirement for 300 the minimum shareholder, which is 300 which was what actually caused the postponement in the first place from Friday. So ideally it's meant to be listed today at 363 naira.
Okay.
That's for 3.7 billion shares. So that would bring Airtel to be the third largest in terms of market cap on the NSE with 1.36 trillion. So that's after Dangote and
MTN. All right, so there you go. So the listing should happen today. I think that's all the time we have, Kayode.
That's all the time we have.
I promise I'm still fighting for you guys out there. 30 minutes, Business Express. The management is fighting me, but we're going to make it work. All right. Thank you all for your message. Chiki, I see your message. Ibrahim, I see your message as well. Joseph, Richard, everybody, thank you so much. Janet of ARM, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you coming on. Baker 19, we're going to work on our own show together. Huh?
Yes, we should.
All right.
Stay Lagos. We have more to come.
Traffic, I mean, look, it happens. Even me, I came in like a few minutes before you did.
Where did you get stuck?
It was just that I think I should have left earlier.
Traffic.
No, it happens though.
Traffic in Lagos on Mondays. Oh my God.
Honestly.
Why?
I really tried, but
No, I feel you. People really